I want to ask you about 1989, and I know that this is a question that you probably get asked a lot. But it was a
most of the time, yes.
It was a tough year for you in the sense that you had also lost to Becker in the Wimbledon final, and then you know, that 5-setter against Michael Chang at Roland Garros. How did you sort of bounce back from that year? Did you feel, you know, at some point during that year that things were just not going your way?
No, I mean, it was a tough year in many ways in 1989. Even, you know, off the court, there were some things that I had to deal with. Obviously, I played some great tennis, but I couldn't just win the tournament because I think I lost 7 finals or something in 1989, and obviously the final against Michael Chang, yeah, at the time, you know, it's a match that I maybe should have won. There's no question about it, but somehow he managed to get around and win in 5 sets, and you know, he probably feels very proud about that today. That was the only Grand Slam that he did win. He lost a couple of finals afterwards, but and obviously I think it really hurt 89 in the Wimbledon final, you know, losing 2 Grand Slams in a row. But at the same time, 89 was tough. But then it was totally different in 1990, where I think I won 7 or 8 tournaments and didn't lose any finals. So obviously there were some good years to come after that as well.
I want to speak to you about those years because I personally found that your successes on the hard courts at the US Open didn't get as much credit as perhaps they deserved, because fundamentally your game, your serve and volley style was not suited to slower courts, was it? And yet you found a way to win on that surface.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think winning US Open 2 years in a row, because US Open was sort of a little bit of a struggle over the years. You know, it's New York, it's crazy hot, crazy cold sometimes, windy, it's loud, you got airplanes, so it was an environment that was sort of a little bit tricky to cope with. But I put it together in 91, 92. I think in 91 it was really slow court, but I somehow managed to play some of the best tennis in my life, and probably played one of the greatest matches from my side, beating Curry in the final. In 1992 the courts were a little bit quicker, maybe a little bit more suited, but there was an exceptional US Open for me where, you know, I had to really fight hard the second week. Remember, was down 3-1 in the 5th set against Krajicek in the round of 16 quarterfinal. I was down to Lendl 4-2 in the 5th. Managed to get back in against Michael Chang on the Saturday, the day before the final. I was down 3-1 in the 5th set. Managed to get back and win that match in 5 hours 20 minutes, which is a long time to play Michael Chang. So you can just imagine how I felt the next morning, because we had to play the final the following day. And luckily Sampras played at night, and you know, he had a little bit tough match, so we both had very short sort of recovery time, and I felt really bad the next morning, stiff, and you know, I felt an hour before the match, how is this going to be possible to perform at the highest level? So that's probably one of the greatest wins of my career, if you look what happened. So that's probably the strongest achievement in many ways, where people may not sort of remember that much, like you said, you know, on the hard court.